Or is it all clear?
Swamiji, let's wish the ladies here.
Oh, yes, great International Women's Day. Yes, that is true. Yeah, to all the ladies. Yeah, and all the men who support the ladies. So, what's special happening on Ladies' Day for them? I know some people who are planning certain things, but okay. Okay. So all other questions clear? Things clear? No doubts? Okay. Any clarifications you want on the two definitions of pramana we used last time? Is that clear? You remember both the definitions? Ajnata, yeah, and Nashakam, yeah. Okay. Ajnata Jnapakam, that which will bring to light what is unknown to you. What is there in my pocket? You don't know. I'll bring it to light. Or something you know, but you are not clearly know. Like what I am. I know I am, I exist, but I don't know what I am. So therefore there are a lot of wrong conclusions, a lot of self-judgments into what I am. So those things are negated on knowledge. Okay. So summing up that idea, the next two verses, 19th and 20th verse. न कारणानां व्यापारः प्रमाणानां न वा पुनः प्रत्यभिज्ञापन्नं नाम मोहापसरणं प्रसनं परम्. He says the idea of the pratyabhijna is necessary for both, he says. न कारणनाम व्यापारः और प्रमाणानाम नवा पुनः. They are actually two separate things. When you use a cause-effect relationship, how do you use a cause-effect relationship? I made a statement, but it may not be clear. How do you use it? Cause effect. What is involved here? My throat is dry. The sip of water is the cause for removing the dryness. Correct? Cause effect. My throat is dry. So if I take a sip of water, the dryness will go away. So the sip of water becomes a cause for removing the dryness. Okay. I'm hungry. Arey, breakfast nahi khaya. Ah, okay. I'll eat something. Correct? Cause-effect relationship. Okay. If I do this, I will get that. Cause-effect relationship. So in all this karananam vyapara, okay, when you're using a cause-effect, can you have that without the pratyabhijna, without the sense of a constant I? The constancy of the I has to be given for it. If the I is not always there, how can I talk about it? Then whether the constant I is changing, unchanging, all that we will discuss later. But the fact that there has to be a constant. How do you know this will cause that? Because I have seen it happening before. No? How do you pick up a cause-effect relationship? Experience. By seeing number of cases. Data. So you are the one who saw all that thing. No? Okay. Are you getting the idea? Therefore, karananam vyapara. Pramananam va punaha. Similarly, when you are using a means of knowledge. Now, a means of knowledge does not achieve anything. Does not change anything. But you recognize what is there. In fact, karya karana jnanam came to you because of pramana. No? The knowledge of cause and effect came to you because you used a means of knowledge. Perception, inference, whatever. Okay. Therefore, pratyabhignapannam nama moha upasaranam param. Therefore, for negating of that ignorance of etc., that pratyabhigna has to be there, he says. Pratyabhigna is the remembrance of the I. It can be applied to remembrance of this also. When I started the class, I had this book. Now also I am using the same book. This is called pratyabhigna with respect to the object. I was the one who explained that verse yesterday, last class. I am the one who is explaining this class today. I, pratyabhigna with respect to the I. Okay? Connected with your memory. Yeah. And your recognition. Therefore, without that, he says, neither a cause-effect relationship nor a pramana can be used. Therefore, that becomes a given. It's a given, he says. Okay? Then, since the question of the pramana came up previously also, he is adding one more verse to sum up what all that he has said. Yavanti santi manani vyavahara pavrittaye tesha moha upasaranat vyaparo anyana vidyate. He says, yavanti santi manani vyavahara apavrittaye. He is talking now including all pramanas. For your vyavahara, your daily transactions, you conduct your life. In all of them, he says, you use pramana, a means of knowledge. It is not that you are now living in a knowledge-oriented society. Okay? Even the caveman, when he wanted to hunt his food, he had to have the knowledge. Hunting is a big skill. So all the knowledge has to be there. Yeah. All the knowledge has to be there. How to track, how to read what is the animal, what is the size of the animal, what is the weight of the animal. All that you can make out from the tracks. Big knowledge. Yeah. Then the skill of remaining downwind from the animal. Otherwise the animal will smell you out. Okay. Yeah. How to approach, when to attack, when to... Knowledge. For what? Caveman hunting. Okay. So what pramanas were used? Pratyaksham, Anumanam, Arthapati, deductive logic. He had to deduce, no? This poor meant that. All that is used. Today we are living in a more sophisticated society. We call it knowledge oriented. It's the same. Nothing much has changed. Knowledge always has to precede an action. Yeah. So only when you know something, you would do something about it. Otherwise, how are you going to do? Yeah. A Women's Day, a joke in supporting the woman, okay? This suddenly struck me. Wife is shopping for a new dress for Women's Day. It happened yesterday. Okay? So she sees 50 dresses and picks up one. And the husband is patiently waiting. Nice guy. Very few do that. Very few do that. Patiently. Then he says, I'm sure Adam had it easier. Because all Eve used was a fig leaf. So the wife says, you better consider yourself lucky. Why? You only had to wait in an AC room. How many trees Adam would have had to climb up and down to get the perfect fig leaf? So all the men here, okay? Consider yourself lucky. Yeah, you just have to wait, nothing else. You don't have to climb up and down trees to get the perfect leaf. Acha hai. Okay. Cause effect, pramana. Okay. Whatever you're doing for your journey of life, pramana becomes important. Okay. Any discipline of knowledge, pramana becomes important. And all of them, he says, Tesham moha apasarana vyaparaha anyana vidyate. The only thing a pramana can do is remove your ignorance with respect to that object or that subject. Important to understand that pramanas don't create anything. It's only removing ignorance about something. Now, why is this distinction emphasized so much in Vedanta? The distinction between knowledge, which does not create anything but recognizes what is, and action which creates something. Why is this thing so much?
Results of action are always finite.
Huh?
Results of action are always finite.
Therefore,
say this thing, finite action will give the won't give the infinite.
do you all get what he said? Okay, why do you think? Why do you all think this distinction of action and knowledge is made so much?
Knowledge will be for moksha.
Why?
Because it's only recognition.
Why? Why do you say that?
Because
I'm questioning fundamentals, yeah.
so many activities I am doing, but knowledge नहीं आ रहा है.
तो क्या knowledge क्यों चाहिए? You want knowledge of happiness or you want to be happy?
I want a knowledge of fulfillment.
Why do you want knowledge of you want knowledge of fulfillment or you want to be a fulfilled being?
Both are same.
How do you say both are same?
Knowledge of once I get it, I will be fulfilled.
How? You're making a statement. I want an explanation.
How?
This is senior class है थोड़ा अभी थोड़ा I should question. Question.
Once I see myself everywhere,
Problem हो जाएगा. If you see yourself everywhere.
but आपको नहीं हुआ तो मुझे.
That is belief system. That is belief system. No?
Any action is finite by nature.
Huh?
Any result arising out of action is finite by nature.
Yeah.
Action is finite,
Yeah.
either in terms of time or in terms of
Yeah.
other dimensions. Therefore, anything what I achieve by action has got some time span.
The limitations of all my achievements through action. One has to see that clearly. See, this is what people don't see. I mean, in the class it is said. Yeah. In the class it is said. Any achievement that you can have, you have only in terms of action, no? Predominantly in your life. And we are geared for that right from childhood, which is a good thing, as far as life is concerned. Yeah. You may be the greatest engineer in the world. What are you doing? Nothing. What will you get? Nothing. You may be a great guy. But if you do nothing, you get nothing. You are not rewarded for your goodness in life. You are a good human being. Good. I'll be your friend. Because you are a good being. What do you do? Nothing. What do you expect from life? Nothing. Therefore, all our achievements are in terms of action. Okay. I know one guy, financial expert. Okay. Every day, he will show me how he has beaten the market. Every day. Consistently. It's amazing. Morning he'll say, this is investment, this is this. And at the end, in the evening, consistently, every day he makes profit. Where?
Paper.
Paper. He doesn't make a single investment. So what do you expect him to get? Nothing. I told him that, why don't you make an investment? And if डर लगता है पैसा चले जाएगा. I said, why? You are beating the market consistently, na? But when you put your money, fear and greed will come into the picture. That's what drives the market anyway. Yeah. The virus will kill more people who are invested than more people who are infected, okay? Why? Out of fear. Why are companies asking people to work from home? You're sitting in an AC room, clean, neat, everything, working on your comms. In what way are you going to infect each other? All your interacting is only with the screen, not with people around you. So even that is minimized. Why are you? Irrational fear is driving the whole thing. Media created. Social media verse. So similarly, fear, greed, etc. drives you, your actions. They are the motivation for your actions. And the result of every one of them is finite. Look at it, we are geared towards action, which is healthy as far as living is concerned. At the end of the day, to realize that all of them are limited. And what you are looking for is something more. That's why in my time, when I was a youngster, don't ask me all the thing I did as a youngster, but whatever. There was a song. I don't know if any of you remember it. I will get no satisfaction. It's a big number. I don't know whether the youngsters today know about this. I don't know. I will get no satisfaction. A big hit it was. Because at the end of the day, you are not satisfied with anything you are getting.
Who sang it? Did I get
Huh?
Who was the singer to you?
I was not that much into music.
Rolling Stones.
Who?
The Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
I don't get no satisfaction.
Huh? I will get no
I
satisfaction.
don't get no satisfaction.
Yeah. Yeah. Big popular number. I was not that much into music, so I don't remember details. Yeah. But that reveals what your life is about. That is why there is a dissatisfaction in your life. I told you all, job satisfaction. What do you mean job satisfaction? You have a good job, you have a good pay, you are growing in your job, you have a good boss, you have good colleagues, you have good juniors, you are learning new things. It's a great job here. In fact, 4 out of the 6 would be considered great job. No job satisfaction. What are you expecting from it? See, that there is no job satisfaction is a fact. Not because of the job. Job is great. Your heart wants something more. This relationship is not going anywhere. Where do you expect it to go? You are emotionally in sync, physically in sync, ideas are matching. Everything is fine. Where do you want it to go? Not going anywhere. What do you expect? I mean, it's a great relationship, no? Emotional bonding is there, physically you are in sync, thinking wise also is fine, the ideas match, etc. What else do you want? I want more. And people mistake that excitement of a new relationship to be that fulfillment. Therefore, ditch this, seek a new one. Because that excitement of the initial stage is there. But all new becomes norm after some time. No? All new has to get into a comfort level. No? Now tell me, what do you really like? A brand new pair of shoes that gives you shoe bite, or something that's worn a bit and gives got a certain level of comfort? Then why is it different in a relationship? It's a comfort level now, na? That love has to lead into a comfort level with each other, na? Of course, it just should not become at that comfort level where the wife tells the husband, "You don't tell me I love you anymore." And the husband says, "Well, I already told you, if the status changes, I will let you know." Now, I'm not talking about that level of comfort. That is taking each other for granted. That's not comfort level. Okay. But some level of comfort, some. But your dissatisfaction is not with the relationship, is not with the job, is not with your kids. Great kids, but they're dissatisfied. I don't know. What are you expecting out of your kids? Yeah. Your dissatisfaction is what you are. That in all these situations, you otherwise is common, na? You are dissatisfied with yourself. Job is great, relationship is great, everything is fine, but not enough. Dil mange more, always. Yeah. Remember my old example? This is a senior class, bhul gaya rahega ye sab. Cricket match going on, everybody is saying 6, 6, 6. And this character turns it around and says 9. You're never going to get it. You're never going to get it. The results of all actions are finite. Therefore, anything that is action-based, job, relationship, achievement, anything, what you get out of that will be finite. Therefore, the fulfillment that you seek, see, that is the thing. The fulfillment that you seek is more than that. First, I thought I'll get fulfillment by making that money. Now I'm getting joy by giving away that money. Bill Gates, etc. I don't know whether, does Bill Gates have children? I'm not sure. He has, I'm sure he has, yeah. I wonder what they are feeling about him giving away all that. We have the first right here, what is this? The whole world is praising him, but what is his kid's response? I don't know. I don't know them, so how can I say anything about it? That's why I said I'm wondering what the response will be. And if you get it, no joy of achievement, what is left to achieve? The heart seeks fulfillment. The human heart or any living organism seeks fulfillment. And one has to be very clear that by action you don't get it. That's why we are making that difference all the time. And action is meant for finite ends. Therefore, if you want something finite, you better get up and do something about it. I like my room clean. I mean, anyone loves, they like their house clean. 2 weeks, maid is disappearing here and there. Yeah. Then, the house is not going to clean by itself, is it? The maid is not there. The house is not going to clean by itself. If you want it clean, you better get up and do something about it. Or get hold of another maid. Something, you better do something about it. Finite things, you need that action. But the fulfillment that you seek doesn't come from action. Then the whole thing goes back into questioning, am I really an unfulfilled being or not? My self-judgment about myself is being examined. Yeah. We don't want others to judge us, but we have judged ourselves. Others' judgments create less problems than your own judgment about yourself. I'm walking on the road. Somebody looks at me and says, Hindutva fanatic. Does it matter to me? There is judgment. Kya farak pada? But if I judge myself like that, then that can create disturbance in my own mind. Or somebody attends my class, he's wearing that dress but he's quite liberal. His opinion. I don't label myself like that. If I label myself, then there is a problem. That self-judgment creates an issue. And one cannot avoid self-judgment because I don't know what I really am. Therefore, the whole focus shifts to that. That is why that knowledge becomes so much of thing is made about that knowledge and difference between knowledge and action. Because what has to be done has to be done. What has to be known has to be known. Generally, it's because knowledge precedes action. As I said, from the hunting onwards, we think after knowing also we have to do something about it. That is the crux of the problem in Vedanta. We think for the sake of knowing we have to do. After knowing we have to do. Yes, for the sake of knowing, get your mind ready. The learning mind. The contemplative mind. Yes, that much you have to do. Not for knowing, to get the mind ready for knowing. That's preparation. Which is, we have seen, our life is geared to prepare. Attitudinally. You do the same thing, but attitudinally, you learn from life. So that you are ready for it. Because when will all the qualifications come? Viveka, Vairagya, etc. We're living life. No? Without living life, how do you expect to gain these things? Yeah. You have to be a thinker that can go to the core issues, knocking off all extraneous matter which doesn't matter. How do you learn to do that? By living. You are getting involved in things. And don't worry, today it's easy to become a great Viveki. You take any issue that's happening in this country, it's all half a dozen things mixed up together. It's never black and white. So if you look at today's issues that's happening in the society, you will become a Viveki, all right. It's a great contribution. Everything is messy. Good. Messy means what? Things are mixed up together. Good. A good thinker, like to see what is what. Of course, the data you receive has to be correct. That's where the problem lies. Because how do you get your data? Simple, Swamiji, Google. Yeah, that's the problem. Social media, 80% of what comes on it is wrong. At least in my field, I know it is wrong. So if it is my field, it is wrong. Other fields can't be lagging behind that much. My field is a bit specialized, so the chances of it being wrong are higher. But at least 60% in other fields should be wrong. When I checked up allied fields, I found the same problem. Therefore, data issue comes in. Therefore, learning to separate out data. All this is Viveka. Vairagya and objectivity towards it, not to be carried away. There are so many things happening on social media. Correct. So many things are, so many videos are circulating. Let us say we are seeing only real videos. You emotionally get carried away with the whole thing. But it's such a big problem. Correct, it's a problem. What are you focusing on? Not the problem, the solution. What is the solution? Focus on that. No, I'm only thinking of problem and getting worked up here and stressed out here. Then you're part of the problem. Then you're part of the problem. I'm not saying ignore it. This doesn't concern us. We are all spiritual beings. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it concerns you, so do something about it. What little you can. Or if you can't, tell I can't. I don't know how to. I don't know. I will support somebody who does something about it. That much you can. And what is the point in getting worked up? Vairagya, objectivity comes into your life. So all this is by living. All that is action, no? With involvement. Life is not a spectator sport. So it's the action that prepares you. But the final leap is not by action. That's what people don't get. That's why we insist so much on that separation of things. The final leap is recognition. It's cognitive, purely cognitive. Now after that, you recognize your infinite limitlessness. After that, what do you do? A finite thing can be used for doing something. Limitlessness, how are you going to use? What are you going to do with the limitless? I am limitless. That means I am free from the need of doing. I can do, but I am free. I am not pushed into doing. I am not driven. I can have the drive to do things, but I am not driven. Being driven is not the sign of a master, it's the sign of a slave. You are driven to do things. Not driven, you are the master. I have the drive. If I want to do something in certain areas, I will do it. If I don't want to, I won't. But I am a fulfilled being. Then all your actions can come out of that fulfillment. Happily you will go about doing things. And as anything else, you will win some, you will lose some. And you can take it on in your stride. Why? You are a fulfilled being, you don't have to do anything for that. That recognition. Okay. This is just as a side for the whole thing. It's also the introduction for the next few verses that is going to follow. Okay. People wonder why I suddenly took off into all this. So, the introduction for what is to follow. In what is to be following. Yeah?
Just a little side question. You said that knowledge always precedes the action. What about when we become impulsive and we just don't think and we just do the action?
Yeah, an impulsive action also has some knowledge in it. No? There is no deliberate thinking, but there is knowledge. There is something there. I want that thing. All that is still there. No? How to get it? Some amount of knowledge is always there, but not very clear-cut, thought-out action. Yeah, that's why we say, hey, be more deliberate in your actions. One starting point is be deliberate in what you are doing. Don't just get into impulsive. Spontaneity is different. Generally, spontaneous actions are quite on track. An impulsive action can go haywire because it's not thought out. Yeah, a spontaneous action generally doesn't go wrong. You see somebody falling down, spontaneous, you go and help the person up. No, that's spontaneous. You see a pretty girl. A lot of impulsive things can happen which can be problematic. Whereas, you see that pretty girl, a spontaneous compliment may come out which will not create a problem. I have seen that. If it is expressed nicely, because you will recognize the spontaneity of it, nothing more. There is no agenda behind it. An impulsive action has an agenda behind it. It is driven again. Yeah.
So, spontaneous action, can we say that it is more dharma?
Yeah, is more in harmony with the universe. Yeah, it's more in harmony. It is more in harmony. Yeah, impulsive is not. But when I have a sense of finitude, and when I have the sense of finitude, naturally I'll have ragadveshas, likes and dislikes. I want this, I want that, I want. So when my mind is full of that, to be spontaneous is very difficult. That's why moments of spontaneity are so few. Impulsive is easier because they're driven by these, no? Driven by these. Though human beings inherently are capable of being spontaneous, but the impulsiveness takes over most of the time. So that's why you need to live a bit deliberately and let the spontaneous moments come out. The more deliberately you live, therefore there is certain harmony in your thinking, etc., the chances of you being spontaneous are higher. as a result of that, because you are deliberately used to doing the right things. You know, you geared yourself to thinking on right lines as that. Then spontaneously also you can do the right things. Yeah. That takes some time.
Swamiji, reaction is more than mechanical.
Yeah, there is more. It's not only, there is reactiveness, number one, that happens. Because of raga dveshas, again, just a reactive function. There is also a mechanical functioning, in the sense, you are not awareful. You are not mindful, as they will say in Buddhism. You are not mindful, you are not awareful. Therefore, you do things mechanically. That's why, if I ask people a question here, are you all sure you locked your door before walking out? Some people will have a doubt. मैं किया क्या? Did I? Yeah. Like if you notice, I did a mechanical action today here. I don't know how many of you noticed it. I had taken this, and instead of keeping it here so that I can take it and put it here, or keeping it here because this table was there, I put it in my pocket. Instead of keeping it here, it just went in my pocket. And I'm now looking, where is it gone? It's mechanicalness can come in. If it happens rarely once in a day, that's human. It's okay. But if it happens regularly, then you're a mechanical person. You're not a deliberate, awareful person. Yeah. I mean, I'm giving this example to say anyone can become mechanical. Yeah. Generally, I'm not. Yeah. So, how to be awareful, etc. Once in a way, your humanness can come up, that's okay. Don't judge yourself on that. It's okay. Laugh. So, yeah, even I can be. If you're judging yourself, you can't say it in public. I better hide that. Yeah.
Swamiji, I have a question.
Yeah?
If all actions are finite, does deliberately trying to sit in silence or meditating also qualify as an action?
Yeah, it's qualifies as an action. In a way, if you're doing a meditative process, there is an action involved in it. Any meditative process is called a mental action. Yeah, it's a mental action. So the result is finite. We think by meditation we are going to know the truth. Big myth going around. Not a single Upanishad says that. The Gita doesn't say that. Yes, but we've seen a lot of the rishis sitting in meditation. We have seen through movies, etc. Movies, your comic strips, where have you seen a rishi anyway? Rishis don't exist now. This is where those guys. But you see, okay, all spiritual teachers also meditate and they teach meditation to the student also. But those are meant for different things. They are meant for getting your mind ready. You need to command a contemplative mind which will become non-reactive, non-mechanical. So to command that mind. And some meditation, like you will find the thing today is, everything is supermarket, like, you know. So spirituality is also supermarket. So you find a lot of stuff happening. All of them great things. Okay. Some are nursery classes, like your art of living, etc. Some are more advanced, like inner re-engineering, Jagi Vasudev stuff, you know, Sadguru stuff now. They're more advanced, good. All good stuff. What are they meant for?
Preparation of the mind.
Huh?
Preparation of the mind.
No, whatever you're doing, they each are meant for different things. Okay? But we club them all under one global term, spirituality. So all of them should deliver the same result. Previously, all religions are the same, deliver the same result. They're not the same. I attended so many of these interfaith meetings. I organized one also. Just to see if, few years back, just to see if anything has changed in that field. Nothing has changed. Everybody comes and says, all religions are same, all religions are same. And the Hindu goes away saying, what is that beef-eater going to understand what I am? And that character says, oh, is this kafir going to understand what I am? Has anything changed at the end of the day? Because the religions are not the same. They don't have to be the same. For all of us to get along together in a cooperative society, do we have to be the same? We just have to learn to accept and respect each other. No? Enough. No? To live peacefully, what do you need? Some acceptance, some mutual respect. And following certain common this thing called the Constitution, which has been changed some 75-80 times anyway. Whatever, but there is something, there is a body, the law of the land. You can protest against any one law. You cannot protest against the whole thing. Any one law, you have a right to protest. If I am saying the whole thing, I am not going to obey, that's a dangerous stand. One law I can protest, I have the right to protest. This particular law I don't agree with, I am protesting against that. That's part of the constitutional right, the bill to the right of rights. Fine. But the whole constitution, I am protesting against the whole one. I can say the constitution requires a relook. Because times have changed so much. And anyway, the constitution was piecemeal, from here, from there, from there, from there. A lot of British things are continued. Some of the American things are put in. That's why we have a prime minister and a president both. So it's a prime ministerial system with a president on top. So it's a little bit messy. So certain things have to be taken. A relook has to be looked into it. That's okay. That's a different thing. But in the time when you are having a relook, I am going to obey the law of the land. That's important. Otherwise, there is no society. Otherwise, it will be what's happening in Syria and Libya and all these things. You want a society like that? Or you want a society where we can go about doing a normal business of life? So, that all religions are same is one myth, which people are now seeing through and saying, no, it's not exactly the same. Some have heaven at this, some are this. Ours, Hinduism is not really a religion, it's more of seeking the truth, etc. So the masses, it may look like a religion, but for some little bit more thinkers, etc., is more of seeking for the truth, etc. Therefore, the differences are being appreciated. But because our awareness of spirituality is low, everything is clubbed together and everything should become spiritual, should give the same thing. It is not. I can teach you 100 meditation, each having its different goals. Each different. Each meant for different things. Yeah. It's true. What do you want? Because it's an action. Then there is pure Vedantic, this thing of Nididhyasanam, owning up the truth. That's different again. That is not an action. Nididhyasanam. You are seeing the truth again and again. So, all these things get clubbed together, and becomes very, very messy. Because each teacher is presenting a discipline. You take what you want. If it fits. Remember one thing globally. If it is action-oriented, doing-oriented, it is finite. If it is knowing-oriented, it may be finite still. Or, if it is about knowing the self as the infinite being, that is not finite. That's the only thing that's not finite. I may not want that. I may want a finite thing. Which is fine, that's your choice. That's your choice. Like one of my friends, she's a teacher in our parampara. So her own kid sister tells her, hey, I don't want all this moksha and all these things, I want to enjoy life a bit. I want to have a few more things. So I said, what is the problem? You can enjoy life and still have moksha. No. Because the idea is that moksha is all about being holy, goody, this, that. And therefore, you don't get ananda. Whereas moksha is about being ananda. Yeah. Being high on yourself. You don't need a chillam for that. There's another myth. Shiva and the chillam business. Bhang. Big myth. I don't know who started it. Big myth. Because, see, when I see something like that, then I have to go into the source book that deals with that. Now, about Shiva's lifestyle. Now, there is Shiva, the reality, which is the Upanishads deal with it. That is not lifestyle. That's reality. Then Shiva, the lifestyle, where will I go dealing with it? The Purana, Shiva Purana. Pura dekha, looked at it with a magnifying. This chillam business doesn't come into it. Bhang doesn't come into the picture. Lot of other things come. But this bhang, where did it come? I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to find the source. I got one or two possibilities in my mind. Yeah. But it's not there. But can you see of any movie made without that? Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, okay? But, yeah. Well, why do you put that like that? Justifying your own needs, that's it. You project it there. Because unconventional. Shiva is invoked, Ishvara is invoked as Shiva, who is unconventional. Yeah. Therefore, him wearing ashes, yeah, that is true, that is there in the Purana. You know? All there is there, the dance and the... But this still not come across. If someone wants to take it, yaar. Mere ko kya farak padta hai? What difference does it make to me? You want to go and have a look at some bhang? Holi aa raha hai. Enjoy your bhang. I'm not saying no to that. Go. Don't put it on Shiva. Shiva took bhang, therefore I can take. Say you want to take it and you take it, na. Have the courage to say that. Why are you saying because you didn't justifying it? That means you don't have the courage to follow what you want. Somewhere the tradition of enjoying bhang for Holi started. All right, start. Part of the celebrations in some areas. Therefore, you want to enjoy it, enjoy it. Don't put it on. You want to enjoy it. Enjoy it. Why do you need validation from God to come in? That's like when I take a love and relationship workshop for my youngsters. I ask them, when are you ready for sex? You're in a relationship. And they'll always tell me, seeing my robes, playing goody-goody. Youngsters have that. So when we are married, I know that's the biggest lie they're telling me. So I ask them, what are you waiting for? A certificate from the government or what? That you can have sex? What are you waiting for? Then they look at each other, okay, this character is different. We can be more honest there. So similarly, I'm saying, what are you waiting for? A certificate from Shiva that you can have one. What are you waiting for? You want to have it, have the courage to say, yaar, okay, chalo, theek hai. Okay. This is all part of that. The next verse is about Adhyasa. This is all part of that Adhyasa I am talking about, okay? Adhyasa, how Adhyasa affects your life. This is a technique. This is what you are doing in the text will be the technical part. I am introducing that to you in the sense of what happens in your life. Then the technical part together, it makes it complete. I am a finite being. My natural conclusion. Therefore, likes and dislikes. Therefore, inhibitions. That inhibitions, another name for it is shame, my sense of shame. There is some shame which is healthy as a human being. Shame is what? Your vulnerability as a human being, which keeps you functioning as a human being. And there is some shame which is toxic. What is toxic shame? When I can't even say that I have this desire. Desire comes from what? From your sense of finitude, your vulnerability as a human being. Shame also comes from the same thing. You're vulnerable. But when I am ashamed to admit I have a desire, that's toxic. I'm ashamed to say I made this mistake. No, see, guilt is with respect to what I do. Shame is with respect to what I am, which is worse. Guilt is easy to take care of. Why? You make amends. You make amends. I did something wrong, I make amends. Starting with from a simple apology onwards, you make amends. So guilt is easier to take care of. Shame is from this adhyasa only, from this wrong, from this self-judgment it's coming in. Why are you ashamed of yourself? Because I have this desire. You're a human being, that's all it means. That the same desire can be fulfilled as long as you're not harming anybody, etc. That's dharma coming into the picture. Universal ethics comes into the picture when you ensure that nobody around is getting hurt. That much is fine. Then it's okay, fulfill it. What's the problem? And I'm ashamed of myself for thinking like that. Can you really predict the next thought in your mind? I've done this thing with you all before, no? I can make you all think of something which you never thought about now. Monkey. Any of you are ever thinking of a monkey? No, but you thought about it because I said it. That's the nature of thought. So what are you ashamed of a thought coming into your mind? Part of the adhyasa it is. When I am judging myself on the basis of a thought, on the basis of an action, and saying, I am not good enough. That's adhyasa. A wrong notion about what you really are. Basic adhyasa is what? The infinite I, limitlessness, is mistaken as a finite thing. That we all have studied. So before the next class is good, if you all can go over that adhyasa bhashya a little bit, okay? Remember adhyasa bhashya? Introduction to Brahma Sutras, we have done that. It is there on the website. Go read it. Read it. It's kept up there for you all. Yeah, because it's not meant for, that is not meant for the public. I don't want the public to be confused by it. That's a bit serious thing. I don't want this. So other things are open to the public. But this thing I have kept it, yeah, private. You all can say, oh, look at it. Yeah, it's meant for you. Yeah. It's good to have an idea. But this is how it manifests itself. Yeah. Ragadvesha makes you human. Likes and dislikes. I like this, I want this, I have desires, this, that. That is compounded by these type of things. Because I am driven by my desire. I am driven by my dislike. Therefore, I may have done things which I am not very proud of. Therefore, guilt and shame comes into the picture. Pain comes into the picture. Shame, the toxic shame, many of us may be free of. But guilt and hurt, some of it is there with all of us. So, that's part of the adhyasa. That's how it manifests itself. That wrong conclusion about yourself manifests in this manner. Self-judgment, adhyasa. To take yourself for what you are not. Basic definition of adhyasa is what? Remember? Atasmin tad buddhi. To think of something as other than what it is. To recognize something as other than what it is. Therefore, the limitless self is taken to be a limited being. But your mind goes only to rope snake. No? That's an example to understand. Yeah, it's me here. So, this is all the ramification of adhyasa. This is what happens in my life. But somewhere that need for fulfillment is always there and right through. Why? Because you cannot be happy with your self-judgment. Because that's not what you are. And what you are will assert itself. You are nothing but Ananda. That will assert itself. Somewhere or other they will come. That's why in the slums also you will hear laughter. No? Go Berampeda. You wouldn't like to live in those conditions. I have done some work in those areas. You can't even think of being there for 4 hours. That pathetic conditions are. Right here, Bandra East, next to the station. You don't have to look far in Bombay for all these. You have to look around the corner. But there are sounds of laughter. Why? Because you are Ananda. Somewhere is peeping through. If it's only peeping through, you don't recognize it. Therefore, you will hunt to repeat that experience that gave you that Ananda. You will repeat, whatever it is. Yeah.
That means I mind all the pursuits.
All pursuits, yes. All your...
Searching myself.
Exactly.
Even in the finite things, no?
Yeah.
Finite things, no?
To put it in a slang, you're chasing your own tail. That's what you're doing. What is it you're doing? Chasing your own tail. I pity the orthodox characters who are going to see that. Their need for orthodoxy will be projected onto me. Another adhyasa. How can he be a Vedanta teacher? Let them. I don't mind. I'm not addressing that crowd. Yeah. Can you see? This is where the whole thing goes. This is the whole thing. Orthodox is another form of adhyasa. Okay. Yeah. All mistaken notions about yourself. You make a mistake about something else, that's okay. If you make a mistake about what you are bound to make a mistake of everything else.
Swamiji, Adhyasa is the mistake and Pratibhasikam is like my own subjective opinion.
That is subjectivity, yeah. So in a way, Adhyasa is Pratibhasikam. Yeah. It's subjectivity, yeah. Only thing is, because it's so common, everyone has it. Born a human being, you will have this basic Adhyasa, I am a finite entity. Which human being says, I am infinite? That's megalomania. You'll be diagnosed as having psychological issues. Yeah.
So that means because of that commonality, Pratibhasik becomes Vyavaharikam.
Vyavaharikam. Transactional, functional, is functionally valid. You're finite, you're this thing, therefore your desire is natural, all that. Then fulfillment of desires becomes the aim for economic growth, the aim for science, etc. Aim for governments also. Therefore the US president comes to India with a bigger trade delegation than political this thing. So it happens, because that seems to be the aim. But we are smart people, you know. What is the statement that is there in Gujarat? Raja Vyapari tar Praja Bikari. Or is it in Marathi? I don't know. There's a statement, yeah. If the Raja is a Vyapari, trader, the people will become Bikaris, beggars.
Yeah, it's in Gujarati.
Gujarati it is, no? Yeah.
You know, Raja Bikari, Raja Vepari, you know, Praja Bikari.
Praja Bikari, yeah, Gujarati mein. Because I heard it from a Gujarati thing. I watch live, I see these things, it's correct. So in all this, look at the layers of adhyasa that's affecting your life. Cannot avoid it. This is universal. You can only get your individual freedom in the whole thing. And if you have the knowledge of the reality, the experience of adhyasa is not a problem. We have knowledge that the earth is round. So the experience of its flatness, as long as there are no two ups and downs, because of the BMC, we are okay with it, isn't it? We have knowledge the earth is round. So, Swamiji, when was there a problem? A problem was there. In olden days, nobody would sail too far out. Why? You'll fall off the edge of the earth. Nowadays, you'll think, how could people ever think like that? But people did. People did. Not so much in India. India, Bhu Golam was described in the Upanishads itself. So, all the planets were described as round, as a ball. They are described like that. So that's here the problem was not there. But West it was. Yeah. Nobody would go sail too far out. Yeah. Never more than a couple of days away from the coastline. Yeah. That was a pattern of old sail. If you look at history of sailors and things like that, which I have dabbled in, this is it. Because adhyasa affects it. But if you know, then adhyasa will not affect. No? You still experience the world as flat. You are not going to experience the round world. Thank God. Imagine balancing on a ball all the time. It's good to do that in a gym for a workout. You improve your agility a little bit, but not more than that. So, this whole question of adhyasa is a big issue that affects it all. Certain adhyasa are universal because of certain what we call as scientific facts, like the flatness of the earth. Okay? Because of external reasons. There is a reason for that adhyasa. Remember all that we studied in school geography? The arc of a circle appearing as though it's a straight line, all those things which explain away that adhyasa. So those, they have an external reason. Similarly, even if you know your infinite awareness, how are you going to function? If I am limitless awareness, recognize that. Now I am afraid to move. Why? Forget earthquake, universal quake should happen. But when I am moving, I am only moving my body, I am not moving consciousness. Consciousness is everywhere, how can it move? So that issues doesn't come up. When you recognize, you recognize. Therefore, that difference between karma jnanam, I am revisiting basics, but it's important to understand that this is the crux of all that is there in Vedanta. That's why I am making Vedanta as calling it Vedanta, not calling it spirituality. I don't use that term normally. Because spirituality is a vague term. What is being spiritual? Every evening, bending your elbow. Spiritual, literally. Where does it end? What is spiritual? I read a small little article on that. I'll put it up on the Facebook. A tiny one. Today people say, I'm spiritual, not religious. You look at the dictionary meaning of the word spirituality, you understand the whole thing is different. It is meant to look at the deeper meaning of the practices of religion. That's how it started. The word started like that. But then English is a language which grows by use and abuse. So sometimes you are abusing the word, but the meaning is growing because of that. So it's okay. Yeah. It's not a precise language. By use and abuse it changes. Yeah. All the old example I use. If I call Christ silly today, a padri may get upset with me. But the Bible calls him a silly Christ. Because the word silly meant innocent those days. Now it doesn't mean the same. So, problems. Yeah. Use and abuse, the word has changed. Yeah. It's not like a classical language, Latin or Sanskrit. It's classical. Therefore, there are roots, and the roots evolve by grammatical principles, mathematically. It's almost mathematical. So then, this type of things doesn't happen so much. But nuances still come in. Because the way poets and all use the word, the nuances will still come. Yeah. Okay. So let us go down. Okay. Now, defining adhyasa. Okay. Let us look at least one verse. Jada anrata parichanna deha dharma chidatmani satya jnana sukhatmatvam moha dehepi kalpyate shuktav rajatamityevam yata va mukhyate nyata. Jadaha anartha parichinna. Jadam, inert, object. Anritam, not real. Anritam is used in the sense of not absolutely real. Functionally, yes, it had a history. And what you take as the real body, how real is it? Every 7 years, the whole cells, all cells are replaced. That means your body is being broken down and being replaced every 7 years. Swamiji, why are the fat cells also replaced? It will be so convenient for us, no? You replace but not the fat cells. Who knows, somebody you may somewhere and you may find some medication for that. Fat cells will not be replicated, but that can create other problems because this is all fat. 98% cholesterol is this. If a fat cell is not this will not be, then it's a big problem. Okay, therefore Jada Anrutam. It's not fine. It's a finite thing. It's not the same body. It looks like the same body. You recognize it as the same because you are the same, not the body. It's like my grandfather's axe. My father changed the handle, I changed the head. Because my grandfather's axe, all right. Okay. Body Anrutam. That's what Anrutam means here. Okay. Parichinnam, finite. Deha. Tasya dharma chidatmani. That dharma is taken as my dharma, no? I'm tall, I'm fat, I'm short, and all that. Your race, this, that, the whole thing is put on the there, on me. And Satya Jnana Sukhatmatvam. I'm real. The Satyam is absolute reality. Jnanam of the nature of knowledge, consciousness. Sukhatmatvam, nothing but Ananda. That is put on what? Mohat Deha Apikalpyate. On the Deha. I mean, it comes differently. It doesn't come that if it came as Satyam Jnanam Anandam, then no problems. It doesn't come like that. Body is real. Look at it. The constancy of the body is taken as reality of the body. It is Jnanam, consciousness is not taken. It is sentient. It is conscious. And Sukham. Sukham means what? Kabhi kushi, kabhi gam. That's it. Sometimes happy, sometimes this. That's why you will want all pleasurable things. No? Temperature control, this control, everything control. Why? Sukham. Moha dehe pikalpyate. Out of delusion, there is what is known as mutual superimposition. The qualities of the object on me and I on the object. He gives an example. Shukto rajatameva ityevam yata vamho tanyata tenyata. Which is a different example. He says like Shukti rajatam. You mistaking a piece of shell on the seashore for a piece of silver, for a silver coin. You make a mistake. So therefore the silverness is put onto the shell and the existence of the shell is loaned to the silver. That's it. The same way you make, there is not a problem because you pick it up, you will understand what it is. Here it's a problem. That I am finite is the biggest problem you will have. I am a human being, I am a humanist, I am a human being. That's not a solution. That's part of the problem. It's a good stand to take. I'm not saying no to that. Yeah. But say I am a humanist and try to enter USA. You are alien. Where is your visa? Do you qualify for all that thing will start? Okay. So
Parichinna, what is the meaning?
Parichinnam is finitude. Yeah. So are you getting? This is it. So I am a human is a good stand, but part of the problem. Parichinnameva. I am a finite entity. Limitless Atma is taken for a finite entity. You are losing the infinite then. If you miss the infinite, the loss is infinite. Yeah. You can be nothing but Ananda. But what have you taken myself as? I have to get Ananda. In my dynamic interaction with the society, I have to echo out my happiness. It will become a psychological management philosophy. You are nothing but Ananda. You don't have to echo out anything. And when you echo out like that, you will get scraps of it. That's all. Pieces of it here and there. A little bit here and there. Yeah. Circumstances driven. You are always Ananda, even in miserable circumstances. Now that is moksha. You can be Ananda even in miserable circumstances. And you have enough experience to show that is possible. Go on a trek. You have a trekker here. I mean, she has trekked in phenomenal places, including over frozen rivers and things like that. But it's miserable. The trek is miserable. Blistered feet, aching shoulders, aching, cramping legs, food that you will not even touch at home. But there's so joy. You felt so one with nature and correct. But you're miserable. Huh? If that experience was given to you at home, you didn't want it, no? Some people try to replicate it by going to a gym. They won't walk on the sea face, nice jog. No. I'll drive in my car to the gym and run on the treadmill. Okay, you take your choice, that's your choice. I'm not against it. Yeah. But running there is much more effective than on the treadmill. I tried them both. I know. So, the fact that you can be Ananda in miserable circumstances is not unknown to you. Because you have experiences like this. You have experiences like this. Yeah. That means what? If you discover yourself, you are that Ananda right through. So that will involve negation of that adhyasa and understanding what you are. That means all your wrong conclusions about yourself. And in modern society, that is huge. Olden days was very simple because you are not in such a complex thing. Now it's huge. All you have to do is look at a form that you have to fill up. Gender, previously male, female. Now there are 30 varieties of options. Self-judgment make it so complex. Orientations. Yeah. Terms which our fathers didn't know. Polyamorous. Now what is that? In olden days it was called having a rowing eye, that's all. Now you have labeled it and created a big thing. Oh. To justify you being okay. What else is it? This political correctness will kill us. Yeah. Except this is a fact. Now what should I do to make a relationship successful? Focus on that. Not labeling and this is what I am and therefore I have to seek people I am. You want to make your life complex, please make it. I have no argument against it. Go. After a few lifetimes you'll come back to me. A few lifetimes. Not to me, to my students you'll come back to our teachers. Yeah. Getting the idea. So for all varieties of adhyasa, self-judgments, even the so-called looking positive ones. Yeah, you can make a difference, positive, all that you can make, but they are all self-judgments. And to be free yourself from the whole thing, recognize yourself exactly as what you are. And then play any role you want to play. Or play no roles, either way. Your choice after that. You have complete freedom to do what you need to do. Yeah. It's not that after wisdom you have to behave in a particular way. What is moksha? I mean, people try to impose that on me. Yeah, I'm wearing a uniform. Therefore, some things I've chosen to. For 20 years, I didn't wear it. I chose to. Yeah. If sensible characters don't wear the robe, then insensible characters will wear the robe. They'll create a bigger problem. And it's a 6,000-year-old tradition worth validating. So, for chalo. Okay. This becomes just role playing. You're free. You can happily play any role. You can happily drop all roles. Not even teacher role. Mauni Baba ban jao, baitho idhar. You're fine. Who said you have to play a role? You don't have to. Oh, you want to play a role? Fine, play a role. Nothing wrong. You're free. So that we will see in the next class. But next class, 90%, it will not be next Sunday. 90%. Okay, I'll put it up on the group. But definitely by Thursday I'll put it up. Because the Sringeri Acharya has called a few of us for a discussion on authentic Hinduism, this, that, etc. No, because you don't want things to go haywire here and there. So they called us for that. Okay. I didn't know I was popular enough to be known by that guy. I'm not a popular guy. Okay. Yeah. So they called us for that. So I'm going. Mostly I'll be going. I told them, don't cancel it because of Corona.